Hey everybody, welcome to Monday. We made it through the weekend. It is Monday. This is our Missing Person Monday live stream for anybody new here. We do this every week, every Monday, for the most part. Every once in a while we'll get pushed to Tuesday, but usually on Mondays. We feature mostly missing person cold cases. I feature a lot of cold cases on my channel, actually. Most of them are the ones that I feature are cold cases. Now, during the pre-recorded videos that I do during the week, I will do some more urgent ones, newer missing, missing endangered. But for the most part, we concentrate on the cold cases because cold cases, it doesn't matter how old they are still absolutely important. The missing need to be found. Their families need excuse me, need answers, some form of closure. And I use, the word closure is just a blanket statement. Sorry. But anyway, it is good to see everybody here tonight. And tonight we're going to be featuring missing persons from Baltimore, Maryland. So we've been systematically going through the states, picking just one through this go around of the states. I think this is our second or third go around that we've done. But for this particular go around, we've just been picking a particular city from each state to feature missing persons from. And it's been working out pretty well. So, and we've been trying to go in alphabetical order. Now, we got off a little bit in the beginning because we had some, I had some requested states to be done first. But I think we're pretty much going alphabetical lately. So let's see who all is here. And thank you to everybody who's in chat. I'm fixing to get to you guys. Thank you to everybody who's lurking. Thank you if you're watching Replay Crew. We love our Replay Crew. You guys are awesome. And if you are Replay Crew, please do leave me a comment down below to let me know that you are Replay. And even after, for anybody who is in chat during the live stream, after the live stream is over, please do leave a comment, even if it's just an emoji. It does help, supposedly, with the YouTube algorithm. And I think you can also hype it like you can videos. You can hype live streams after they're done and they're processed and uploaded and whatever it has to go through. But anyways, but everything is appreciated. Like, share, comment, all those things are so very important. Once again, to get it in the algorithm so that more people see it, so that as many people as possible are made aware of these cases. Like I said, try to first and foremost, bring awareness. Maybe somebody out there might happen to see and be watching from the area and happen to see something that jogs their memory, even with these very old cases, and could bring in some leads. Who knows? That's the best case scenario. So let's see who is here. Mustang is here. Hello, my friend. Paula is here. Good to see you, Miss Paula. Chris is here. Miss Avery is here. Good to see you. Dandelinis made it back. She says, good to see everyone. I'll be lurking. So Dandy's going to be our lurker tonight. It's always good to see everybody here. Yeah, Miss Paula says it is nice seeing everyone. Absolutely. Doodlebug is here. Hello, hello. Always good to see Miss Doodlebug. And please check out all these other wonderful creators. Doodle, Miss Paula. Anybody else that has a channel that I haven't got to yet? Mustang. I think Mustang says she's kind of putting hers on pause for a little bit, which is totally understandable. We all have to take breaks sometimes. Unlikable guy says just listening. I don't know who Unlikable guy is, but I know that whoever it is commented on one of my live streams after it ended. I can't remember which one it was, but welcome. Always good to see new names here. Wait a minute. Do we have two Averys? Hold on. I'm confused. Wait a minute. Oh no, same. I thought I saw two different Averys. I'm seeing double tonight. It's my glasses. I can't see. I'm blind as usual. Thank you. Mustang is getting links in. As always. Yes, yeah. I said lurkers. She said lurkers. Yeah, we do have lurkers that are what they watch and don't participate in chat, which is perfectly fine. I can't talk tonight. A lot of times if I'm in a chat, unless it's one of our ones that I go to a lot, I'll just lurk. I won't be in chat, or I'll be watching the chat, but I won't say anything. Just to be, if there's a whole lot of people in the chat, a lot of times I won't chat. And like I said, unless it's, a channel and a community that I'm very familiar with and feel comfortable with. I'm sure you guys are the same way. Yes, Mustang says, please do all the things. Yes, and do not forget to check out Miss Doodle's second channel, Homestead Shenanigans, if you just want to go take a break from not just true crime, but from everything, from the world in general. She has cameras set up. She's got squirrel feeders. I think she's got bird feeders, and so you can watch the squirrels and the birds and whatever other critters can be on camera, can be movie stars, TV stars, just to relax. I try to get over there and catch it whenever I can, but just something just totally to take your mind off everything, relax, decompress, de-stress. So much fun. Yeah, Avery says, unlikable guy, why are you unlikable? Oh goodness. You're not unlikable, Avery. Avery says she's unlikable too. You're not unlikable. Hey, Black Knight, good to see you, sir. Black Knight is lurking, but he says hi, everyone. It's always good to see Black Knight here. Let's see. Avery is asking Doodle, do you have photos of the birds and the animals? I know she has cameras set up somewhere in the backyard or wherever it is, somewhere on the homestead. She has cameras set up. She's got the squirrel. What do you call it, Doodle? fluffy butt. Oh, goodness. Do you have hummingbirds? Do you have hummingbird feeders? I haven't seen hummingbirds around here yet. We don't see a whole lot of them around here, but every once in a while I'll see one that'll come up to the window. All right, I think I'm caught up. So before we get started, if I can. Oh, Doodle says lots of fluffy butt squirrels, no hummingbirds yet, but they could come at any time. Yeah. Yep, I love hummingbirds. Love hummingbirds. Okay. So before we get started, let me put myself in the corner here. I have a couple of missing persons, well, 3 that have been missing for a while, unfortunately, and then a new one that I got a notification about today while I was at work. So I just wanted to bring those up right quick. We still have Kennedy Love, and I tried to, or I did check for any updates on all of these. And as far as I know, I haven't seen any. I didn't find anything on Facebook because I am back on Facebook now. Like I said, when the Men in Black took me the other night, apparently they fixed my Facebook app while they had me. So anyway, but I looked on Facebook and Googled, and I didn't find unfortunately, anything that said that they had been found yet. So we're going to still keep sharing them. But we have Kennedy Love. She's just 16 years old. She's been missing since February 21st of this year, 2026, from Pine Bluff, Arkansas. She is believed to possibly be in the company of a male named Davion. Still don't have any. I've still not found a missing poster for her that gives any of her vitals, aside from the fact that she's 16 years old, and you can tell by the picture she's a black female, dark hair, dark eyes, but we don't have height, weight, anything of that nature. But at least we have a picture. At least we have a picture. But if you do have any information regarding Kennedy's whereabouts, contact the Pine Bluff, Arkansas. And I'm gonna have to take hold on. Oh, what did I do? I'm pushing the wrong buttons here. Hold on. Take my banner down for a minute so I can read it covers up part of the number. Call the Pine Bluff PD at 870-541-5300. And then we have Tavoris Thomas is still missing, and now kind of not really an update with him came out 2 or 3 weeks ago. A new interview with the family. I believe it was with his sister, and I did do a video after that one came out. So please do check it out. It should be in the missing playlist. That they didn't really come out and say it, but his sister said in the interview that word on the street was that they had heard several people say, unfortunately, that something nefarious may have happened to Tavoris. So they were just want answers, and they want just to bring him home to be able to lay him to rest. But at any rate, he has been missing since September 6th of 2025. From North Little Rock, Arkansas. He was 47 years old at the time he went missing. 5 foot 8 inches tall, 138 pounds. He was last seen. He was dropped off in the Meadow Park area of Rose City, which is like part of North Little Rock. He has not been seen or heard from since then. It says that he was known to frequent homeless encampments. So when he was dropped off, I don't know. It was never made clear that I could find if he was dropped off at or near either one of the homeless encampments or some kind of shelter. But he has not been seen since that night that he was dropped off. And they said that it is very unusual for him not to have any contact at all with any members of his family. So obviously that is concerning. So if you have any information regarding Tavoris, You can call the North Little Rock PD at 501-758-1234. And then we also have, now I kind of have conflicting on Antonio Dickerson. There was one thing when I Googled his name, something, just a headline from the Sherwood, Arkansas PD Facebook page said that he had been found, but then when I actually went to their page on Facebook, I couldn't find a post where it said he had actually been found. So I don't know if he's been found or not. So I don't want to say that he has been found until I can find something concrete. So we're still going to share him. But Antonio was 34-year-old black male, 5'11", 180 pounds. The Sherwood Police Department is requesting assistance in locating Antonio. His family has been unable to make contact with him for several weeks. It is believed that he was last seen at an area hospital, but he has since been discharged. And I don't know if he just, I'm thinking I maybe read somewhere that he just kind of walked, when they discharged him, he just walked away from the hospital and disappeared. He does have mental health issues, so I would consider him endangered missing. So if you have any information about Antonio's whereabouts, or if you've seen him, contact the Sherwood Police Department at 501-835-1425. And then the new one that we had to pop up this afternoon is Luis Monsalvo. The Little Rock PD has asked for the public's help in locating Luis. He's 27 years old. He is 5'7" tall and around 250 pounds. That's all the vitals we have on him as of right now. So anyone with information regarding his whereabouts is urged to contact police at 501-371-4829. Right, so that is our local people that I wanted to bring attention to. I'll always like to, obviously I share missing persons from everywhere, but especially from here in my home state here in Arkansas. So let me go back over to comments real quick, and then we will get into our Baltimore cases. I think I have five or six cases tonight. See if anybody has snuck in on me. Chris said he sent Doodle a case that is older than him. Well, you're not that old, are you, Chris? Everyone wants to know where Sherwood is. It's in the basically North Little Rock, Arkansas. It's just there's like different. I don't know if you call them like little suburbs, I guess, of North Little Rock. But Sherwood it's in North Little Rock. Hey Nicole, good to see you. I'm glad you could make it. All right, I think I'm caught up, so we will get started because my phone is still acting up, so I don't know how long my battery will hold out. Hopefully for as long as we need it to. And unfortunately tonight on almost all of these cases except for one, I was not able to find really any other supplemental information aside from the Charley Project information. So, but that's better than nothing. We always say that's better than nothing. Thank you, Mustang, once again for getting links in. So first we're starting out with a little one that went missing, just 4 years old. And this one is from 1969. So this is probably the oldest one that we're going to feature tonight. But this is George Barksdale. George went missing on April 21st, 1969 from Baltimore. He is a black male. He was just 4 years old when he went missing. He will be 61 years old as of 2026. And the smaller inset picture there on the slide is an age progression to 54. So when he went missing, he was just 2 feet 6 inches tall and 35 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. He does have a birthmark on his left calf, and it says his nickname is Sputnik. Last known clothing was a red, white, and blue pullover polo shirt, a red or blue corduroy pants, and black sneakers with red stripes on the bottom. So this is kind of one where he vanished into thin air, although obviously we know that can't happen. But George was last seen playing on the steps of the United Church House of Prayer for All People, which is on Preston Street and Argyle Avenue in Baltimore, between 8 and 9 p.m. So it was dark at night, which unfortunately, obviously, would make it very easy for someone to just come up and snatch him. And I think it said, no, it's just classified as an endangered missing. It's not classified as a stranger abduction, but. So he was last seen playing on the steps of the church between 8 and 9 p.m. on April 21st, 1969. And unknown, I don't think there were any other children or adults out there with him. I guess everybody else was inside, I'm assuming. He's never been seen or heard from again. Authorities believe that he was abducted by a non-family member. It says that there was a possible sighting of him at St. Martin's Church in the 30 block of North Fulton Avenue after his disappearance. It says a black woman with white hair, about 70 years old, came in with a little boy. So apparently when she came in with this little boy, she asked for food assistance, saying that she just needed enough food to last until her monthly benefit check arrived. So someone working at the church asked what the little boy's name was, and the woman hesitated, but then the little boy allegedly said, "My name is George." So the woman claimed that this little boy was the son of her daughter who had just passed away and left him in her care. She gave her address before leaving and said that her last name was Williams. The church employees did call police because they thought they did recognize the child as George Barksdale, who is missing. The address that the woman gave turned out to be fictitious. Investigators looked up every person on the welfare rolls with the last name of Williams. None of them matched the woman's description. It does say that George did talk well at the time of his disappearance. He did know his address. He did know the names of his family members. He lived in the 1000 block of Argyle Avenue, and obviously his case remains unsolved. But if you do have any information, there are a lot of phone numbers it gives. For the Baltimore PD, you can call 443-984-7385. 443-984-7386, 7387, or 2359. Or the last one is 410-396-2359. So I don't know why they have I don't know unless it's different departments or different departments within the Baltimore City Police Department in general, why they have so many phone numbers. Best bet is to call 911 on any case. They can put you, 911 can always put you in contact with the correct agency. I was not able to find anything. Now, George does have a web sleuth thread on websleuth.com. As always, all the links to all the online sources that I use are in the description box. And that is literally that the black and white picture is literally the only picture that is out there of him from the time that he disappeared when it was 4. Because I thought, well, maybe I was just missing you know, just couldn't find a better picture of him. But I started reading his web sleuth thread, and there's like, that is the only, literally the only picture that anybody could find. So let's see if there's anything here that there were a link to a couple of articles, but unfortunately the links are broken. So I don't know how much more information. So somebody did put a snip of an article that said a huge search was done when George went missing. It says over 60 homes were searched. Almost 200 people were questioned. Vacant homes were searched, dumpsters, trash cans, alleys, abandoned refrigerators, and things of that way, airways, and no sign of him was found. So they did do, thankfully, sounds like a pretty extensive search. So, I mean, best case scenario is, I mean, it's not best case scenario that he was abducted by a stranger, if that's what happened, but best case scenario is if he was abducted by a stranger, that he's still alive out there. Obviously, since he was so young when he went missing, 4 years old, he has no idea who he is. So maybe he will see the age progression photos somewhere and say, hey, you know, that kind of looks like me. Would I say he would be 61 years old now? It's just, these are these, I say this about at least one case on every live stream. These are the kind of cases that keep me up at night. Just, you know, how could just somebody, just especially children, just go, you know, like that, just go missing just like that. So scary. I don't think there was anything else on the web sleuth page. Some people had listed some exclusions from some unidentified John Does or baby does, exclusions. So somebody brought up that it could be that someone was looking for children to sell at that. This was 1969, and it definitely happened back then. Probably still, unfortunately, happens today. He could have been taken to be sold, or what they call black market adoptions. I'm not saying that's what happened, but possibility. Someone also mentioned that George could has simply just walked away from the church and got injured somewhere and just got lost somewhere. I don't know what kind of terrain, or how rural the area was. So it is possible that he just wandered away and something happened to him. So it was April in Baltimore. Somebody will have to let me know. I'm assuming probably still pretty chilly. He could have succumbed to the elements. He could have fallen. I don't know if there are any bodies of water or anything, ravines or cliffs, or not cliffs, but embankments that he could have fallen down and unfortunately gotten hurt and passed away, and they just haven't found his body. It's also a possibility. But I just find it interesting with this, with a woman, or the witnesses said that a woman came into another church, and I don't know how far away. I don't know if it said how far away, excuse me, that this other church was from the one that he disappeared from. But the witness said that they asked what the boy's name was. The woman hesitated, but the little boy said, "My name is George." So it's very, very scary. Very scary. Let me get caught up right quick. Give me a drink. I apologize if I pushed the right button here. Goodness. Still didn't get it. There we go. Apologize for my scratchy voice. See, some people snuck in on me. Let me say hello. I remember to mark where I left off at. Oh, I think I went too far down. And I got a clippy holding up my hair tonight, and it is digging into my head. It's about to kill me already. Anyway, hey, Doodles and Gray, good to see you. Welcome. Ms. Z made it from Trial Junkies United. Hello, hello. Always good to have you here. You and Doc and Moo the cat. Please do check out Trial Junkies United. They do wonderful work. They do the hard stuff. They do injustice cases, predator, a lot of predator type cases. I have to be careful with my words I use. Boy, they did one. The one they did last night was, and I forgot to share it last night because I think I fell asleep before I made it to the end of the live stream, but then I got distracted and fell asleep. But I will share it on my community tab. But even better, just go over there if you haven't already. Sub to Trial Junkies United. The case they did last night was just, as you know, like I said, they do the hard ones. It was just gut wrenching and horrifying and infuriating, and just but it's very important stories that need to be told, that have to be told. And Miss Z is such a good, she calls herself the storyteller. She does such a good job of being just so compassionate and respectful when she's telling these stories. And behind the scenes, Doc does such a good job of everything he does and adds his 2 cents in. And then we have a moose sighting every once in a while. So please do go over there and check them out. Absolutely. Yeah. As he says, this is an old one. Yeah, 1969. He would be 60. I'm trying to read, 61 years old. It's just the kids always get me. I mean, all of them get to me, but it seems like the kids and the elderly just hit me a little bit harder. And when I share them. Yep. As Z says, let's hope it was someone who wanted a child. You are absolutely correct. Let's hope it wasn't, like somebody mentioned on the web sleuth thread, if I can talk once again, that it wasn't somebody that was trying to sell a child on, or something of that nature. It's horrible. Obviously, like I said, that, if it was a stranger abduction, if it wasn't that he just wandered off and something happened and they just haven't found him yet. Yeah, let's just hope that if this had to happen, if there is a silver lining, it's that it was somebody who wanted a child, raised him, took care of him, loved him, and he's just, obviously he's not going to know. Well, I mean, he knew, it did say he knew his name, he knew his address, he knew his family members' names. So I don't know. I mean, I just think he would have, I don't know, might have contacted or tried to get in touch with family members. I don't know. It's so hard when they're so young, when they go missing. Oh, you are young, Chris. Chris said he's in his 40s. You're young. You're a youngin. You're a youngin. Doodlebug agrees about something. Yeah, vanished outside of a church, which actually we've covered a couple that I remember that of kids that disappeared from outside of a church. So, I mean, anybody who would abduct a child from anywhere is a horrible person. But I mean, if you go so far as to abduct a child from a church, then you're a special kind of evil, in my opinion. Let me see here. You're very welcome. Yep, it was a very Southern Gal, or Ms. Z said, thanks. It was a heavy one. Yeah, very heavy, but once again, very, very important stories that have to be told. I wouldn't be able to do it. I'll be honest. I would not be able to do the kind of stories that Z and Doc research and put together and tell the story. I wouldn't be able to do it. So I just thank, once again, thank Z and Doc for doing the hard stuff. Yes. Mustang says Z is awesome. If it'll come up. There it is. Absolutely. All right. Get me one more drink. I don't know why my... Sorry. I try to hold it away from the mic so it won't, the straw scratch won't get y'all. All right. So next, we have Bernadette Caruso. I apologize once again too. I've had a slight headache today, so make sure my battery's holding out. We're good so far. So this is Bernadette Caruso. She went missing September 27th, 1986 from Baltimore. She's classified as endangered and missing. She's a white female. She was 23 years old when she went missing. She'll be 62 years old as of 2026. When she went missing, she was 5'4" tall, 190 pounds, with blonde brown hair and green eyes. It says she does have a mole on her left cheek. Her ears are pierced. She was last known to be wearing a black tank dress over a pink tank top, a pink belt, sheer pantyhose, pink flat shoes, a pink cotton jacket. So obviously she likes pink. And possibly small earrings, a gold necklace, and a wristwatch, which was either gold with a small band or had a Mickey Mouse face. And it says that she was carrying a bag containing a pink and black jacket. And there also is a vehicle, I believe, that is unaccounted for. But Bernadette was last seen leaving Shaw's jewelry store in the East Point Mall in northeastern Baltimore County, Maryland on September 27th, 1986. She had completed her work shift at the jewelry store, and she was seen entering her car in the mall's parking lot at approximately 5:05 p.m. that day. She had told a co-worker that her estranged husband, Michael Caruso, had called her and that she was going to meet him to discuss something. Apparently, she didn't elaborate on what the discussion was going to be about. So after that, Bernadette has never been seen or heard from again. She was supposed to call the friend later that day. She did not call the friend. The vehicle she was driving, which was her grandmother's gray-green 1982 Chevy Cavalier, with a Maryland license tags, FYW 097, has never been recovered either. So it disappeared. She and the car disappeared. So it possibly, so whenever I hear of a person and the vehicle also not being found, I think if it wasn't foul play, that possibly they could have accidentally driven into a body of water, and depending on the terrain, could have driven over an embankment, over into a ravine or something of that nature. And they just have the car. And usually when the car is not found, it's usually in a body of water. I'm not saying that that's the case here, but it's a possibility. But we do also have the estranged husband. Sorry. Notifications are popping up. So Bernadette was separated from Michael. Michael was a Baltimore County police officer at the time of her disappearance. They were involved in a bitter custody battle over their 3-year-old daughter. Their daughter was spending the weekend with relatives on the day that Bernadette vanished. So I don't know if the daughter was with Bernadette's relatives, with his relatives. So Michael was apparently later fired from the police department after being convicted of abusing a prisoner. Witnesses report that he often threatened Bernadette when they were married. He has not been charged in her case, however, nor has he or anyone else been named as a suspect. Foul play is suspected in Bernadette's disappearance due to the circumstances involved. Her loved ones described her disappearance as uncharacteristic of her, and they believe that she did come to harm. It says that she resided in the 4000 block of Rustico Road in Carrollwood. I can't talk. Carrollwood, Maryland, in 1986, and her case remains unsolved. So if you do have any information regarding Bernadette's case, you can either call the Baltimore County PD at 410-887-3943 or the Maryland State Police at 410-486-3101. And I was, with Bernadette's case, able to find, I think, 2 articles. So the first one is from, I think it's from 2013, or was updated. It was from March 2013, and it's from WBALTV.com. The family of a Baltimore, sorry, I have to swat ads here. There we go. The family of a Baltimore County woman who disappeared 27 years ago wants prosecutors to take another look at the evidence surrounding her disappearance. Oh, God, I hate these ads that pop up. Anyway, Bernadette Stevenson Caruso was last seen in 1986, but for her family, the sense of urgency when it comes to solving her case is greater than ever. Her nephew, Ryan Bowerman, said the family is raising money at that time, was raising money to buy sonar equipment so they can search for her remains and her car in waterways near where she disappeared. So that's why I mentioned earlier about the car not being found. I wonder if I'd wondered if, it could possibly be in water. Apparently it's possible. So they, at the time, they were raising the money to buy the sonar equipment to search the waterways near where she disappeared. And they said that there isn't, in their opinion, there's enough circumstantial evidence to bring the case to a grand jury. So just by that statement there, I'm going to assume that maybe they don't think that the car that she and the car, if it went into the water on accident. So Bowerman, the nephew, said, quote, "There are people who are key factors in the case, and if they pass away, we're going to lose that testimonial evidence. So it's critical that we get this information before the grand jury sooner than later," end quote. So the mother disappeared on September 27th, 1986. She was last seen at work at a jewelry store at East Point Mall. At the time, her co-worker said that she, once again, was supposed to meet her estranged husband, Michael. Family members said the pair were in the midst of a bitter custody battle over their 3-year-old daughter, and Bernadette had filed a DV charge against the husband, who was a police officer at the time. So the nephew said, quote, he had been kicked off the local police department for brutality, and that was the last time that she was seen, end quote. He said the family believes that there is enough evidence to prosecute. His father, Sam Bowerman, was one of the lead investigators in the case, and said that he married. So the nephew's dad had married Bernadette, one of Bernadette's sisters. It says years later. So Ryan, the nephew, said, quote, "We've really been beating at the door of the state's attorney's office for years now and just feel like that we are getting nowhere," end quote. So 3 years ago, which would have been in 2010, the family asked Baltimore County State's Attorney Scott Schellenberger to take another look at the evidence. So I don't know what evidence that they're talking about. Schellenberger apparently did look at the evidence and decided that there was not enough evidence, in part because Bernadette's body was never found. So that is a problem with what they call, if you're trying to bring charges, or even, I guess, just to convene a grand jury to look at whatever evidence it was, what they call the no body case, is where, when you're, Ellie has enough, thinks they have enough that they're pretty sure, are pretty sure that the missing was the victim of a homicide, and they're pretty sure they know who did it, but they just, not having found a body is always an obstacle. But now it's not unheard of. There have been, obviously, a lot of no body cases that have been taken to court. But apparently the state's attorney at the time, 2010, thought that there wasn't enough evidence. So the family is still trying, using new methods to crack the cold case. Bernadette had a Facebook page and a website, as well as about 400 online signatures petitioning to get the evidence in front of a grand jury. I would like to know what this evidence is. The nephew said, quote, "We are really pulling out all the stops at this point. It's been 27 years. At this point, we just want to do everything and anything to have justice," end quote. So Schellenberger, who is the state's attorney, said that he does sympathize with the family, but still believes that there is not enough evidence. He said if something new were to surface, that he would be willing to reconsider. Now, once again, this article is from 2013, so 13 years ago. So like I said, I would really like to know, and I know that it's not for us to know, the general public. Obviously, whatever evidence they found, they're not gonna, it was something, that they're not going to tell the general public, just in case they ever got enough other evidence or anything to actually take somebody to court or to charge somebody. So it's understandable, but it's still, we still want to know, but we understand. So the other article, let me get it to come up. So this article is actually from December of 2025, so fairly recent. Dundalk mother's 1986 disappearance still looms large for family. What happened to Bernadette Caruso? On September 27th, 1986, Bernadette Stevenson Caruso left work at the East Point Mall in Dundalk and was never seen again. Nearly 40 years later, her family is still pressing for justice. Excuse me, Bernadette's sister, Susan Barrowman, and her husband, Sam. So Sam in the other article was the one that Ryan, that was the nephew's dad who married the sister. So Bernadette's sister Susan and her husband Sam do want to see a resolution in the case. Susan told WMAR2 News, quote, "She was just easygoing, everything rolled off her shoulder. She was an everything rolled off her shoulder kind of girl, a friendly, beautiful girl. She was always happy," end quote. Get through the ads. Caruso, 23, deeply cared for her 3-year-old daughter named Nicole. Caruso's mom helped her land a job at Shaw's Jewelers in the East Point Mall. Her bank accounts remained intact, so she did not take her money and move elsewhere. So I was saying she didn't just voluntarily leave. Her green gray Chevy Cavalier was never found either. Sorry, ads keep popping up. For Caruso, this was all highly out of the ordinary. Her sister Susan said, quote, "We were going through the woods searching for Bernadette. We were calling her home. We went to the home with the detectives. We went through all the standard things. We are just heartbroken," end quote. Baltimore County Police Archives plastered missing persons flyers around the community at the time. Corporal Donna Carter with the Baltimore County PD's cold case squad said, quote, she was described as a devoted mother, and basically her daughter was her entire world. Family and friends said that she would never just up and leave her daughter and start a new life. So foul play is absolutely suspected, end quote. The Bowermans have long publicly suspected Caruso's estranged husband, himself at one point a Baltimore County officer. Though authorities never charged him or anyone else with a crime in relation to the case, the Bowermans say the couple had been in a custody battle and said that there were allegations of DV. For years, the Bowermans have begged the state's attorney's office to bring charges, even protesting to make their case. The lack of physical evidence, including that Caruso nor her car were ever found, prove major roadblocks for officials to charge anyone. But Sam Bowerman, who himself looked into the case when he worked for Baltimore County PD as a profiler, disagrees. So Bowerman told WMAR2 News, quote, there is some very intimidating circumstantial evidence, and I believe from an investigative standpoint, even though there may not be any physical evidence, when you put together a lot of circumstantial evidence can be just as incriminating and indictable and convictable in a court of law, end quote. So that is true. So police investigated a great deal over the years, including a series of false tips from an incarcerated man in the 2010s. We always have that come up in these cases, or in a lot of these cases. Though Corporal Carter believes that someone out there does know something. Yeah, there has to be somebody out there knows something. They saw something. So Corporal Carter says, quote, whoever did something to her or made her disappear that night knows what happened, and it's quite possible that they confided in somebody. It's possible that they may have had help. I'm not saying that it did happen, but anything is possible, end quote. So once again, if you do have any information that could lead to Bernadette's case being solved, please call the Baltimore County PD at 410-887-3943. So I wonder what they, let's see, he said, who was it, Sam Bowerman, who he was the one that worked, said he worked as a profiler for the Baltimore County PD. He said that he called it very intimidating circumstantial evidence. So no, I don't know what he means by that, but apparently he was convinced that it was enough to, like he said, it was enough to at least consider. Holy moly, getting down to a lot of comments popped up. All right. Nicole says she's listening and playing a game on the iPad. You sound like me. I do that sometimes. I'll be listening to whoever's live stream or whatever, and it'd be playing games on my pad. I don't have an iPad. I have a tablet. Yep, Z said she was tiny. Yep. She was what, 5'4", 190 pounds. Hey, Patriotism, good to see you. Glad you could make it. Man, this clippy's digging into my head. I don't know why I still wear clippies anymore. Ms. Z said, I always think water too, but that ex-husband being an ex-cop is scary since he had anger issues that got him fired. Absolutely, I agree. Because evidently the family, because in the first article I read, the one from 2013, it said that they had raised money to buy sonar equipment to search bodies of water But then they were talking about, foul play. So evidently they think maybe she and the car did end up, like I said earlier, did end up in the water, but not by accident. And maybe they were thinking the ex-husband. I mean, he would be top on my list of people to think about. I mean, we all know you're always going to look at the people closest to the victim or the missing, and definitely it was the husband or the estranged husband. And then you factor in they're going through the bitter custody battle for the daughter. She had filed at least one DV charge on him. He had been fired from the police department for brutality against prisoners. So yeah, in my opinion, he definitely had some stuff going on. So I would definitely be looking at him. But if you don't, they always say it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. But you can, like Sam said, it would have been her brother-in-law, Bernadette's brother-in-law, the one that married Susan. Was her name Susan? I try to keep up with all the names in all these, but sometimes I get confused. If you have all this circumstantial evidence, it can lead to, you can prosecute. But apparently they just haven't had a state's attorney that is willing to do so. Oh goodness, patriotism is talking about Walmart. Lord, I don't want to hear about Walmart. I'm kidding. Hey Josh, how you doing, my friend? Josh says he is lurking tonight. You lurk all you want, sir. It is good to have you lurking. And I hope you had because Josh usually does a live stream on Sunday nights at 6 p.m. Central. He didn't do one last night because he was just taking a break, which we all obviously understand. Everybody needs a break every once in a while. And he posted some such cute pics of him and his doggy and some other stuff on Facebook. So cute. So I hope you got some rest and relaxation and chilled out and just let the world go for a while like we all have to do. And while I'm on the topic, I forgot to mention when I was talking about Charles Junkies United, they do live streams Thursdays and Sundays at 8 p.m. Central. So please do check them out live if you can. Join in the chat with us. Always great discussion, great community. But if you can't be there live, please be replay crew. Absolutely. Thank you very much. There is Josh's channel where lavender grows. Please do check him out. And Josh has been a member for 19 months. And of course, he's got the aliens only. The aliens, man, I'm telling you. We did a two-parter. If you missed it this weekend, guys, Friday night, Saturday night, we had to do a two-parter because Friday night, apparently, the aliens invaded my phone and shut it down. So we had to do part 2 Saturday night. So we did. It was our fun every once in a while. Once again, for anybody who may be new, who has happened across us tonight, every once in a while, like I said, we'd take a break from the true crime and do some fun stuff, some mysteries, conspiracies, or talking about movies or music or puppies or kitties or whatever. So this past weekend, we talked about some alien conspiracies and talked about some good alien movies, some sci-fi movies. Had a lot of fun. So they're in the mysteries and conspiracies playlist. So check them out if you want to see what you missed. The ending of the first night of the part 1 was a disaster, and I apologize once again to Josh because he was on panel with me, and all of a sudden I just disappeared. Apparently, the Men in Black came and got me. They returned me though. They returned me and fixed my Facebook once again. Oh, I got to give Josh his cow. Hold on. Apparently the aliens got the cow. Oh, there she is. So there's Josh's cow. Get to put a cow in the pasture to celebrate Josh's 19 months. I gotta get back. Okay. Yes, it is awesome. Josh has been here for 19 months. And I've actually known of Josh, been YouTube friends or acquaintances since way before either one of us started our channels. With most of y'all, a lot of y'all, I've known you guys since before any of us even had channels. Mostly for Mr. Steve's chats. Oh, Mr. Steve is doing okay. Haven't seen him in a while, but he's out doing the good work. He's probably out working on cases, boots on the ground. Thank you, Josh. Also gifted one Southern Gal True Crime membership. So you guys can let me know who got it, because I can't see it. So thank you for that, Josh. Hold on, everything jumped again. There we go. Had to get back to where I was. Yes, thank you so much, Josh. Yep, patriotism says we get to see the cow. Yes. Did Nicole get it? Oh no. Okay. I guess Mustang was saying she's glad Nicole made it to the live stream. You guys will have to let me know who got the membership. It should tell y'all on the YouTube chat. Yeah, you would think so. That's a good point. Ms. Z says you would think that his, talking about Michael, the estranged husband, that his getting fired for his anger issues will be something that they could use. You would think so. Him getting fired for brutality, the fact that Bernadette had filed at least one DV charge against him, apparently. So, I mean, but I don't know. And I'm hoping, I mean, it could be a case of just, and I'm not saying anything bad about the Baltimore PD back then, but it could be a case of they didn't want to prosecute a fellow police officer. We know that happens, unfortunately. That could have been part of it. It could have been part of it. Chris said he was just 2 years old when Bernadette went missing. Mustang said she was 11. Patriotism was 5. When she go missing? In 86. I was 15 years old when she went missing. Y'all making me feel old. Hey, Miranda Lee. She popped in and she's been a member for almost 2 years, 23 months. I think Miranda was probably my first member, one of my first members. So congratulations to Miranda. Thank you so much, Miranda, for your continued support, if I can talk. Good to see you, Miranda. Yeah, now Ms. Z has got the aliens. I need that little, I would love to, I don't know where Doc got it at, but is it Fala, who is one of Trial Junkies United's mods. She says a spaceship is her Uber, and then Doc, I guess, found this alien spaceship sound. I love it so much. I'm like, I want that so much to use. So I'm gonna have to find my own spaceship spaceship sound to use. Patriotism says it was funny. Are you talking about Friday? Thank you. Mustang says great lives on the conspiracy. So much fun. Yeah, they are fun. Yeah. Doodles and Gray says the conspiracy lives are fun. Yeah. I don't know. It might not be. Josh, is it really me? Is it really you, Dawn? Not sure. I don't know. Might not. I can neither confirm nor deny because I don't remember anything. Don't remember anything. That would be awesome. Ms. Z says, Fala wants us to do some alien content. You know, she's always waiting for alien Uber to pick her up. Yep. I'm telling you, I wonder if she'd let me go halvesies and take the Uber take her alien Uber with her. Yes, we love Fala. Fala and Irish Luna, such wonderful mods. That whole community in chat is always so terrific. Okay, so Mustang says Pixie Sticks got the membership. I've not heard that name, if any of you guys have. But congratulations. Welcome to Pixie Sticks. They got the membership. Welcome to the pasture. Yep, Miss Paula says congratulations. Yep, yeah, you said you were just going to lurk, but you're talking a whole lot, Josh. I'm kidding. I would never dissuade anybody from talking and chatting. Yeah, Mustang says, Josh, I know you wouldn't last long just lurking. Goodness, a Black Knight said, I was 6 years in the Navy when she went missing. Bless you, youngins. Oh, Lord, so you must be older than me, Black Knight. I'm 54, soon to be 55 in a less than a month. What's today, the 20th? It is April, right? I don't even know what I don't know what month it is. Yes, absolutely, Black Knight. Thank you absolutely for your service. Patriotism says your cow's getting a workout. You need a new one. I need a new cow. I like the old cow. Josh's channel is called Where Lavender Grows. Mustang probably, I know she threw the link in earlier. She could probably throw it in again. Paula says, who said anything about aliens? We're always talking about aliens. Mustang or Black, I can't get anybody's name right tonight. Black Knight said, my privilege to serve. Absolutely. Thank you for your service. Absolutely. Oh, wow. So Black Knight says he'll be 64 in 2 days. You're young. You're still young. You're a young fella. Yeah, so Mustang said, happy early birthday. So hold on. Let me find it. Let's see what birthday dance we can get. Here we go. So you got a birthday dance video. There you go. We also got, here's some Snoopy. So happy early birthday to Black Knight, who I believe has been the member for the longest, one of the longest members. He's been 2 years, I believe. When last time I looked at my members list. So thank you for your continued support as well. Thank you to everybody's support, member or not. I know everybody can't always afford memberships or donations or anything like that, but just sharing, liking, commenting, hyping the videos, that is just as important and is very much appreciated. Yep, another happy early birthday to Black Knight. He said that, what, the Snoopy one? Or both of them? Black Knight says, sounds like music from my era. Yep, another happy birthday from Patriotism. You are very welcome, sir. All right, I think we're caught up, so we will get to the next case. If I can push the right buttons. I might push the wrong button and send us all into the Fala's alien Uber. Josh says I need to get some animation for his channel. Yep. Yep, absolutely. Miss C says, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Absolutely. All right. It's hot here. Next we have Scott. So this one might be resolved. Not in a good way, unfortunately. But I will give you his information and then read to you what I found on Web Sleuths. So this is Scott DeFelice. And of course, my computer decided to slow down now. What did you do? Come on, there we go. So Scott went missing on July 18th, 1995 from Baltimore. What is my computer doing? He was a white male. He was 31 years old at the time he went missing. He would be 62 years old as of 2026. When he went missing, he was 5'7" tall, 155 pounds, with brown hair and blue eyes. It said he has an appendectomy scar on his abdomen. No known clothing is listed. So Scott was last seen at his place of business, called Pro Image, at the East Point Mall. So didn't Bernadette worked at the East Point Mall at the jewelry store? Wasn't that the same mall, East Point Mall? In Baltimore. He left that location at approximately 10 a.m. on July 18th, 1995, and never returned. So then on August 9th of 1995, one of his customers told his family that he had seen, whoever this customer was, said that he had seen Scott twice after he was reported missing. He said that one sighting was at a local Subway shop and the other one was at the Carroll Island Amoco gas station, which apparently was near the home that Scott shared with his stepbrother. Now, as far as I know, these were not confirmed sightings because it doesn't say confirmed. But still. So Scott's loved ones did not believe the customer had really seen him, probably mistaken identity. And the individual's accounts have not been verified by anyone else. So they are definitely not confirmed. Scott's black 1986 Dodge Ram pickup was found in the parking lot of the Palace Hotel on Ocean Boulevard in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina on February 21st, 1997. So that would have been just almost 2 years after he went missing. So that will make a little bit of sense when I read what I saw on Web Sleuth. They said that it had been there for approximately 3 months. The keys were inside. None of the staff at the hotel recalled seeing Scott, however, and no other evidence was uncovered at the scene, and his case remains unsolved. So if you do have any information, you can call the Baltimore County Police Department at 410-307-2020. So now we'll get to, if I can find it, there it is. To some comments and some scanned in documents that kind of not such a good resolution. So before we get to that, some of his friends had commented, says Scott was a fun guy, but he had a dark side too. He would get ticked off for almost no reason and toss you from his place. We hung out, we went to ball games, we argued, we watched sports, music, radio controlled cars. He says I was in OC for the week when he disappeared. So then another one said about them reading about one of the customers claimed to have seen him twice in the days that followed, which, if it's true, that's what I'm going to read in a minute. It is possible that it could have been him that this customer did see. Just seeing if there's anything else. Just going through really quickly. So then, so he doesn't have a Nameless page. So somebody had posted around June of 2024 that his name is and his Doe Network page were taken down. So then in March of 2026, someone posted, still have been unable to find any update on this case. I submitted a request with the Baltimore County Police requesting information on the closure. So apparently the case was closed. It said there seems to be only 2 possible scenarios: remains identified or found alive. So this is when the same person who submitted this request for information in March of 2026, March 25th of 2026, and they included, and once again, the link is in the description box. You can look at it for yourself. Received a reply from the Baltimore police, and they put just a snippet, uploaded a scan of a snippet of it. I have to make it bigger so I can read it. It says Detective A. Barton on 4/7/2022. Detective Barton received notification from the University of North Texas Center for Human Identification that a match had been made in reference to this case, talking about Scott's case. It says the match was made in Horry County, South Carolina. So remember, his truck was found about a year and a half, 2 years later in South Carolina. The case number, it gives the case number. It says that case was deemed self-harm, which occurred on or around 4/9/2021. Detective Barton spoke with the case detective from Horry County PD on 4/7/2022 and learned the details of the situation, the self-harm. Then on 4/8/2022, Detective Barton met with the victim's brother. They blanked out the brother's first name, but the last name is Defelice, the same last name as Scott, at his residence and notified him of the death. So the brother was supplied with contact information for the Horry County PD detective and the Horry County Coroner's Office. So it seems, now, obviously, in just this little piece of information, it doesn't tell the, when, who, what, when, where, how, whatever. Well, we know that if it was self-harm, we know the who, but so it seems, unfortunately, that he may have taken his own life for whatever reason. But I was unable to find any other articles or information besides this. So we will go with that. But just a sad ending to an already sad, obviously, situation. So I don't know if he might have been, obviously having some kind of problems, whether they be just life in general problems, relationship problems, mental health issues, whatever the case may be, just whatever it was, he thought that was the, only answer or whatever. But it's just a sad case, and we don't like to have those kind of endings, obviously. Get caught up once again right quick. Let me get another drink. Let me see. Got y'all still talking about how old y'all are. Patriotism said I was 13 when he was missing. Mustang says almost 20. Josh says I was bar mitzvah that year too. Oh goodness. Yeah, apparently there is a Baltimore City, the city of Baltimore that's in Maryland. And then I guess there's a Baltimore County. I don't know if it's if Baltimore City is in Baltimore County, because I know here in Arkansas we have a hot spring. We have a hot spring, the city of Hot Springs, and then we have a hot spring county, but the city of Hot Springs is not in Hot Springs County. So I don't know. I don't know. I was kind of confused too. Yeah, that seems to be the case. Josh says, taking his own life, truck found in South Carolina, and no body found. Well, apparently they did find, you know, they found the remains and sent them to Texas or something. I can't remember where it was. Hold on, let me go back. The University of North Texas Center for Human Identification was the one that made the match. So apparently, I'm assuming maybe they got some DNA from his house, like a hair or something, or sometimes they use hair from a hairbrush. A toothbrush has DNA, or members of his family could have submitted their DNA, and that's what they matched it to. I'm assuming that's usually what has happened. But now, where exactly they found the body, because they said the truck was found in the parking lot of somewhere. Hold on. The truck was found in the parking lot of the Palace Hotel in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, on February 21st, 1997. They said it had been there for approximately 3 months. The truck. Now, where they found his remains at did not say. So I wonder. So he went missing, or last time he was seen officially was July 18th, 1995. Now, the customer said that so that we had the customer that told the family that this customer had seen Scott twice after he was reported missing. I don't know how long it was after the 18th. So it's quite possible. I mean, the family, you know, it does say that the family did not believe that the customer had really seen Scott, but I mean, if obviously he made it to South Carolina and, you know, possibly, you know, unalived himself there. So it's possible that the customer did see, but I want to know but they found the truck. They didn't find the truck until 1997. So does that mean, I don't know if that means that, and I don't know if they could tell how long he had been deceased. I mean, I'm sure they could estimate by the state of the remains. I'm not trying to be graphic or ugly, but I'm just, you know. I mean, how long had he been there before he decided to take his own life? Did he do it immediately after he got there, and it just took him, 2 years to find the truck? I mean, it looks like they would have put out a bolo for the truck. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a professional. I don't know. I'm just trying to use my little squirrel brain. But so I don't know if he didn't do it immediately after he got to South Carolina. What was he doing for almost 2 years? I mean, that's the questions I have. Let me put it that way. Those are the questions I have. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Oh, that's fine. Josh says, "Oh, they found remains. Sorry, I've been back and forth with things. That's fine. This is true. Yeah, Mustang lives in Arkansas too." She says Benton, Arkansas is also not in Benton County. Yeah, Benton is it in Saline County or Pulaski County? Yeah, the city of Benton, I think, is either in Saline or Pulaski County. It's not in Benton County. Like I said, the city of Hot Springs I think is actually in Garland County, maybe. And then there's a Hot Springs County. See, I don't know. That's the question. Josh says, were the remains found near the truck? I don't know. It didn't say. That's what I was wondering, where they found the remains. Where they found, I would just tend to think, just my opinion, my unprofessional opinion, I would tend to think that they weren't found in the truck, because you would think, and once again, I'm not trying to be gross or, whatever. You would think that if he did it in the truck, that at some point somebody would have smelled something, and they would have found him quicker. Now, did he get out and walk somewhere? Was there a wooded area close to this Palace Hotel or whatever it is, the parking lot that it was in? Was there a wooded area or somewhere secluded that he could have gone to? It's possible. Or it. Let me go back and see if it was a. Or did they find him in one of the hotel rooms? Because the truck was found in the parking lot of a hotel, the Palace Hotel. Said it had been there for 3 months. So, well, but it looks like if he would have been found inside the hotel room, that they would have matched him to the truck. It wouldn't have taken them 3 months for them to match him to the truck. Because most of the time, I don't know about, but back then, did you have to give your tag number when you checked into a hotel like you do these days? Don't you still have to give your tag number to your vehicle? I don't remember if you had to do that back in the day. So I don't know. It would be interesting to know. That could also be, Mustang said, sounds like maybe a carjacking. That is also possible. But I mean, they could be wrong. I mean, I'm not saying they ruled it self-harm, but now people make mistakes, so I don't know. Anything is still on the table. Mustang says, I think it depends on the hotel. Yeah, depends on if it's a nicer hotel or maybe a not so nice hotel. You probably don't have to give your. But I would think. I mean, I've never been to Myrtle. I've been to South Carolina. I don't think we've not been to Myrtle Beach. But I mean, I'm sure there's probably nice hotels, just like anywhere. There's probably nicer hotels in Myrtle Beach, and then some that are not so nice, or cheaper hotels. So I don't know. I don't know what the Palace, how nice or not the Palace Hotel. Say it was on Ocean Boulevard, so I don't know. Don't know how nice of a hotel it was. Alrighty. I think that is all. So if I can find, I'm gonna try to do some more research and see if I can find anything else on this. But like I said, when I was doing the research to try to find the information for tonight, I came up with nothing except for the Charley Project information, and then that thing I found on Web Sleuth. But I will try and see what I can find. All right, so next, we have another baby. We have Telethia Goode. So Telethia went missing on September 10th, 1978 from Baltimore. She was just 7 years old. She's a Black female. She is classified as endangered missing. When she went missing, she was just 3 foot 4 inches tall and 60 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. Her nickname is Lily. Her 2 front teeth are missing, or were missing at the time of her disappearance. She was last known to be wearing a blue t-shirt with the words Collington Square on it, and blue Levi's jeans or gaucho pants. Which gaucho pants are, I think, what we call them, like maybe capris now. They're not really shorts, but they're not long pants. They come about mid calf. So Telethia was last seen playing with 3 other children near her aunt's house in the 1700 block of Montpelier Street in Baltimore on September 10th, 1978. Her mother left her at her aunt's home while she went to attend church services. So apparently after Telethia was playing outside with these 3 other children, I guess she just disappeared. She was never seen after that. Her family reported her missing at around 10 p.m. that night. So it doesn't say. So I'm assuming, I don't like to assume, but it had to have been sometime in the morning hours, because I know our church services, Sunday school starts usually at 10 a.m. and then church services start at 11 a.m. So I'm assuming it'll be around that time frame that she was last seen, and then she was reported missing at 10 p.m. So a man who later became the prime suspect in 11-year-old Latanya Kim Wallace's homicide regularly visited Montpelier Street in 1978, as his business partner apparently lived there. So Latanya was essayed, stabbed, and strangled in 1988. Her homicide was never solved, and it says that she bore a striking physical resemblance to Telethia. So Telethia was 7 years old when she went missing. Latanya was 11 years old when she was assaulted and killed. And apparently this man was that was known to be around Montpelier Street, which is where Telethia disappeared from, is the prime suspect in Latanya's homicide. So when police found out the suspect's connection to Montpelier Street, they showed him a picture of Telethia. He said he knew her. Then he denied knowing her and said that he didn't recognize her at all. So that's not sus at all. He is now deceased. He was never charged in Latanya's homicide or Telethia's disappearance. So Telethia's parents actually adopted her in Newark, New Jersey when she was an infant. She had only just recently learned this before she disappeared. Her family moved to Baltimore 5 years before her disappearance. And by 1978, which is the year she went missing, her parents were divorced. She lived with her mother in the 1500 block of Montpelier Street. She visited her father every other weekend and for the last 2 weeks of the summer. She was a first grader at Coldstream Elementary School at the time of her disappearance. Said that she enjoyed school. She does have relatives in New Jersey and Virginia, and her case remains unsolved. So if you do have any information, you can call the Baltimore PD once again at 443-984-7395. So I don't know. I'm wondering, and I was not able to find anything except for her NamUs page, which basically has not as much information as the Charley Project had. I'm wondering if these 3 other, let me go back to the Charley Project. If these 3 other kids that she was playing outside with, did they see anything? Did they say they saw anything? Somebody come and snatch her? Or because it said that she was last seen playing with 3 other children near the aunt's house on Montpelier Street. It's just so frustrating with these cases when you just can't find any other information. Did the kids see anything? Did they, so all we have to go on really is she either just possibilities that she just either wandered off and somebody snatched her, or she wandered off and had some kind of accident. It was natural causes, and they just for whatever reason never found her remains. But then we have this whoever it was, I didn't give a name, obviously, because he was never charged with anything. This man who was a prime suspect in the essay and death of an 11-year-old who was known to be in the Montpelier Street area at the time that Telethia disappeared, apparently because his business partner lived there. And that Telethia and LaTanya bore a striking, what they call a striking physical resemblance to each other. Wonder if I can find, hold on, let me see if I can find a picture of LaTanya. I'm trying to copy and paste. So I won't have to. Hold on. Let me see if it worked. Okay, so we got LaTanya, or we got Telethia's picture up there. Oh, maybe let me put in. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Okay, hold on. I found one picture that popped up. Let me it should let me screen share it. Hold on. Give me 1 second. That is a very I would call that striking. You just imagine that picture. I'll just show you a picture. Imagine that picture of Telethia about 4 years older. Make sure I'm putting the right one up there. Oh, it would help if I shared it. Should pop up there in a minute. In a minute. Right there. That is LaTanya when she was 11 years old. So to me, yeah, that like I said, if you took, and I'll leave this up for a minute, but yeah, if you took that picture of Telethia at 7 years old and aged it to about 11 years old, pretty darn close in my opinion, as far as resembling each other. It's just my opinion, but you guys let me know what you think. Absolutely. So maybe if it was this man, maybe he had a certain look, a certain type, because that is uncanny. That's actually kind of creepy. How close they resemble each other. Let's see if it has any other. I think that was the first one that popped up, but what if I have an age progression? That is the only. Because all these are different girls. That's the only one of LaTanya that came up. But yeah, I was hoping there'd be like an age progression to compare it to the age progression of Telethia's. Very, very makes you wonder. So I'll put Telethia back up there. I don't know. What do you guys think about them looking alike, and about this guy, the LaTanya, was not charged. He was a prime suspect, excuse me, in LaTanya's. I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm gonna have to do a video about that, about LaTanya's case. Research it. All right. Going back for a second to Scott's case, Josh says, "I wonder if it is the same. If it is the same place as the Palace Resort on Ocean Boulevard." Sorry if you heard me. I'm almost out of drink here. It could be. It just said the Palace Hotel, but it could be the Palace Resort. I said I'm not familiar at all with Myrtle Beach. Yeah, Mustang. Yeah, Telethia. I'm assuming you're talking about Telethia. Beautiful. Yep. Josh says Talethia's disappearance sounds familiar to me, like I've watched or read something about her before. You might have. Yeah, definitely. I consider it suspicious, Miss Paula, most definitely. Yep. Paula says red flaggy. Oh yeah. See, I want to know if these three kids have they gone inside and she stayed outside by herself, and then that's when she got snatched or whatever happened to her. It got snatched or she wandered off, or were the other three kids still out there? But you would think that if the other three kids saw something and said something, that they would have reported it in the news or whatever, you would think. Hey, Miss Peggy. Good to see you. Glad you could make it. Are you talking about Scott? Josh says, I smell something rotten with that guy's equivocation. Are you talking about like what's it called? Because there's different kinds of, I have to say, deaths. Equivocal deaths, and then different kinds of, is that what you're talking about? And I forgot that I used to have it memorized what they all meant. One of them means that there was somebody there when the person passed away, and then one of them means that there was no, the person was alone when they passed away, or I don't know. I'm weird. I used to read up on that stuff, but it's been a long time since I read anything about it. But yeah, do you guys think that I think just even looking at the picture of Latanya that I brought up, and then the age progression to let me see when the age progression. The smaller picture was an age progression of Telethia to it just says unknown age. But even to me, the age progression looked a lot like Latanya, resembled Latanya's picture. Thank you, Josh, for being here. Josh says he has to call it a night. Thank you, and the Dawn and Southern Gallers. Thank you, Josh. Please do check out Josh once again, where lavender grows. He does a fantastic job. All right. Let me see who we have next. Another baby. Goodness, are the last ones all babies? So this is our next to last one. This is Stephen Christopher Beard. So Stephen went missing on June 2nd, 2001 from Baltimore. He is a black male. He was just 14 years old when he went missing. He will be 39 years old today, and that smaller picture is an age progression to 27. When he went missing, he was 5'9" or 5'9" to 5'10", and 130 to 140 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. Some agencies may spell his first name with a V instead of the PH. His nickname is Chrissy because his first name is Christopher. Last known clothing was just blue jeans and black boots. Or his middle name was Christopher, sorry. Okay, so Stephen, not a lot of information. Stephen was last seen by his guardian, I don't know what type of guardian, in Baltimore on June 2nd, 2001. He disappeared from there. I'm assuming the guardian's home. It doesn't say. Just says he disappeared from there. He has never been seen or heard from again. So this is what I don't understand this. It says that he frequented, well, I mean, I understand this part. Said he frequented the areas of North Avenue, Calvert, and Charles Streets in Baltimore, particularly nightclubs in that area. How does a 14-year-old child get into a nightclub? Or maybe it just meant he stood outside the nightclub, which probably is even scarier to me when you think about things that could happen to a 14-year-old child in front of a nightclub or inside of a nightclub. It says that he may be in Virginia, and I don't know where they, a few details are available in his case. But if you do have any information, once again, call the Baltimore PD at 410-396-2359. And I did have an, let's see what I had. Maybe not a whole lot of information. Oh, this is from, it's a site called lipstickalley.com. I use it every once in a while. Sometimes if nothing else, if I can't find anything else, a Lipstick Alley will have some stuff on some cases. It's kind of like a blog type site. But this was posted in July of 2025. So this is the blog, whoever wrote this talking. It says he was just a boy. He was just a boy, but the streets did not treat him like one. Stephen Christopher Beard, known as Chrissy, was just 14 years old when he disappeared in Baltimore, Maryland. He was known to frequent nightclubs along North Avenue, Calvert Street, and Charles Street. It was not uncommon to see this child, and it says, yes, child, navigating adult spaces far too dangerous for someone his age, and then he was just gone, just like that. It says he was in foster care due to reasons unknown, but his guardian last saw him on June 2nd, 2001, and no one has heard from him since. There's been no call, no sighting, no clues. This person says he did not vanish without risk. The streets were loud, chaotic, and full of danger. He was so young, vulnerable, and impressionable, and someone out there knows what happened to him. So once again, Stephen was just 14 years old, 5'9" to 5'10", 130 to 140 pounds, just blue jeans and black boots. He was born February 11th, 1987. They said he was just a teen who got swept into the streets of Baltimore and never came home. So if you know anything, no matter how small, please call 1-800-THE-LOST, which I believe is the NCMEC number, or the Baltimore PD, once again, at 443-984-7385. Says it's been over 2 decades. A child went missing, a life interrupted, and somewhere someone has an answer. So just sends chills at my spine. And we know it happens, but how does a 14-year-old child, a baby, who's in the foster system, supposedly had a guardian. Apparently the guardian, in my opinion, wasn't doing such a good job. If this baby was frequenting nightclubs at 14 years old and then just disappears and just like that. Oh, anyway. Paula says, did he have a fake ID? I don't know. I wouldn't think so, but I mean, you never know. I mean, this was back in, this was 2001. Well, this is 25 years ago. 2001. Possible that he had a fake ID, but I mean, still. At 14, you had to be at least 21 to drink, to get into clubs, nightclubs. Now, whether or not he actually whether or not he actually went into the nightclubs or just hung out in front of the nightclubs, either one is no go. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's worse, if something worse would happen inside the night, probably both, inside the nightclub or outside. But apparently something did happen. Anyway. This will be one that keeps me up at night too. But that's the only other information that I was able to find on Stephen. Just breaks my heart. Just look at that little face. All right, I think we have one more. We have Stephanie Marie Gant-Brady. So Stephanie went missing April 8th, 1984 from Baltimore. She's a black female. She was 39 years old when she went missing. She'll be 81 years old as of 2026. When she went missing, she was 5'3" tall, 110 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. So she wore glasses or contacts. Her nickname is Penny. Her ears were pierced. Her hair was shoulder length at the time of her disappearance. Last known clothing: jewelry, an opal ring, a pinky ring set with a small diamond, a Timex watch with a black band, and also a medical alert bracelet saying that she has multiple sclerosis. So she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 1978. She has difficulty walking as a result of her condition. She utilizes a cane and a wheelchair to get around, but it says that she had neither with her when she vanished. So she was last seen in Baltimore, April 8th, 1984. She resided in the 4600 block of Horizon Circle in the Woodlawn area at the time. After her disappearance, her male companion, so this is where it gets weird. So after she disappeared, her male companion, as I call him, stated that she had traveled to London, England to write a book. However, she never obtained a passport, which she definitely had to have to go to London, England. She did not pick up her last paycheck, and I don't think it says where she worked at. She left all of her personal belongings behind, including her cane and her wheelchair, which she most definitely would have had to have had. She does have one son. She has a bachelor's degree in sociology from Morgan State University. She was attempting a master's degree from the University of Baltimore in 1984. She was the first black woman to reach the rank of lieutenant in the Maryland National Guard. And she was also a member of the Governor's Committee for the Handicapped. Oh, so she was employed as a substitute middle and elementary school teacher at the time she disappeared. And her case is unsolved. So once again, if you have any information, you can call the Baltimore County PD at 410-887-3943. So I'm going to tell you right off the bat, my opinion is I'm not buying this. No, I could be wrong. Not saying that I'm right or nothing I'm stating. I'm stating this fact. This is just my opinion. I'm not buying this story about her male companion said that she went to London, England to write a book, but apparently she didn't get a passport, which you have to go to another country. She did not pick up her last paycheck. She didn't take any personal belongings with her, no clothes, no nothing, to go to London, England. Didn't take her cane, didn't take her wheelchair. Just a little bit sus in my opinion. And I was not able to find a NamUs or Doe Network or anything else for Miss Stephanie. But yeah, I'm just a little suspicious about the male companion story. But as always, let me know what you guys think in chat, or if you're watching replay, please leave a comment. Let me know. Yeah, Mustang's got her red flags. Yeah. I mean, what kind of to me, that is a very, if you're going to make and I'm not saying, I mean, it could be perfectly true that, or maybe she told her male companion that she was going to go to London, England to write a book, and then she just disappeared. without clothes, without her cane, without her wheelchair, without anything, without taking any of her money with her, no passport. But if the male companion is making up the story, that's a pretty elaborate. Why would you make up such an elaborate story? Why not just make it simple? She just she left. You know, the usual story is we got into an argument. She left. I've never seen her again. Don't know what happened. I don't understand. Anyway, so I think that was the last one. Why did I? Oh, I didn't put in my last. Okay, that was the last one we had. Anyway, yeah, Paula says red flaggy. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I'm not buying the just my opinion. I'm not buying the male companion, and that's how they put it, male companion. I'm not buying the story. But anyway, thank you, Mustang. Appreciate you. So that is all I have. So thank you to everybody who was in chat. Thank you to the lurkers. Thank you to Replay Crew once again. And I'm trying to think. I might be able to do a live stream Friday night, depending on how schedules work out. I do have some been bookmarking some stories that have been popping up in my news feed about some true crime, current true crime in the news that we can go over, and anything else that might happen to pop up between now and Friday. Thank you, unlikable guy. You seem pretty likable, pretty quiet. Thank you for being here. It could be somebody that's come in here before, just with a different name. I never know. Oh, there's Miss Farr. Miss Farr pops in at the last minute with one Southern Gal True Crime membership. Thank you, Miss Farr. Or did I say hi to Miss Farr earlier? I don't think I did. Thank you, Miss Farr, for the membership. Miss Farr is an angel from down under, always gifted membership. So we appreciate that, Miss Farr. Miss Farr says, not all, stay safe, everyone. Thank you. Yes, Mustang says, yes, everybody be safe. Absolutely. I'm gonna try to get some pre-recorded videos uploaded this week. I'll try to get one out Wednesday, and then if I don't do a live stream Friday, I'll do a pre-recorded video Friday, and then if I do a live stream Friday, I'll upload the pre-recorded video Saturday. Anyway, so everybody have a good, before I babble on for the rest of the night, everybody have a good, multitasking here, have a good rest of your week. Everybody be safe, everybody be kind, just be good humans. That's all we can do, is take care of each other. I love you guys, and hopefully I will see you Friday. If not, I will definitely see you next Monday, same bat time, same bat channel. Night, guys.